Hello there, welcome back to the Codex. So, today, I'm going to do a video that I've been thinking about for basically ever since Cyte came out, and I was thinking about the way his second ability works and how it's extremely broken with the Ocucor in particular. So what I mean is, if you look at his second ability here, Resupply, the way that this ability works is that you throw down these elemental damage ammo packs, you pick them up, and for the duration of your current magazine, you have a huge guaranteed multiplicative elemental damage buff increase and guaranteed status. So for example, you can throw down a blast ammo pack, get a big chunk of extra blast damage, and also have guaranteed blast status, or whatever element you choose. So keeping in mind the fact that the trigger condition for losing this buff is reloading, if you use this on the Ocucor with the Sentient Surge augment, which one of the effects of this augment is every target that you kill restores 20% of your Ocucor's magazine, that does not count as a reload. Technically, because you're not actually reloading, you are depositing ammo directly back into the magazine. So if you're playing a Cyte, or if you have another Cyte, which we'll talk about later in the video with some even more humorous strategies, you can keep this buff on the Ocucor indefinitely as long as you get enough kills from a single ammo pack. So you could literally be in a mission for 4 hours and have the same ammo pack that you picked up at the very beginning of the mission. Let's go hop into a regular survival, for example, on Steel Path and show how strong this is in action. Alright, so we're on a Circulus Conjunction survival on Steel Path. It's about level 200 enemies. Let's throw down a blast ammo pack. And you can see we now have guaranteed blast ammo on my Ocucor. Now you can see as long as I keep killing enough enemies, my ammo is continuously refilling, again because of that Sentient Surge augment. And you'll notice that no matter how many enemies I kill, or how long I keep this ammo buff, it never goes away, because I am never reloading. This is ridiculously strong on the Ocucor, because it's already an insanely good weapon. I'm currently using a viral heat build, so this means that I now have viral heat and blast guaranteed. And you can do any other element you want. So if you have a particular element that you think suits you for a certain mission type, you can throw that down and keep that, again, permanently. So I'm just going to show you that I can kill, 200, 300, 400 guys here. And it doesn't matter. That blast ammo just keeps refilling. And as you can see, the damage is, of course, excellent. I do have a Riven on my Ocucor, but this isn't really an Ocucor build video. See, and there, since I reloaded, now I lost the blast ammo. That's the only way that you're going to lose it. Still have some extra packs on the ground here, though, so thankfully you don't even have to recast, and you have a few extra chances at keeping your ammo, so it's actually fairly energy efficient, since you throw out 3 packs each time, and you can have 6 packs on the ground at once. So if you do want to double cast that and have some extra packs just laying there for you, ready to go, you can do that. So yeah, I am 200 kills in, and the only reason that I lost it once was because of reloading, not because of the kill amount. Let's go ahead and kill another 50 guys here, for example. And you'll see, yet again, the buff is still here. So this is super strong. On Cyte himself, of course, you can utilize this strategy. The only problem is that since the Ocucor is not a headshot weapon, it's basically an aimbot beam weapon, you're never gonna really be invisible from his 4th ability, at least not very consistently. So let's talk about 2 other ways that you can actually heavily benefit from this mechanic on the Ocucor, starting off with a very funny team composition if you like me and you like doing endurance runs, for example, survival fishers. Let's go ahead and hop over there. So, Cyte09 himself is, of course, very powerful with the Ocucor, but the reason why he's so powerful with the Ocucor is because of his ammo packs. Turns out you don't actually need Cyte to benefit from that, because the whole team gets that. So what you can do is use a really weird looking build like this. If you look at this, this is actually a terrible Cyte build if you were to actually play a Cyte. But what we want is just maximum possible strength. So when you account for all of these mods, plus we're using Empower to cast before we use his second ability, plus Molt Vigor, plus Power Ramp, you can get this build to over 400% strength very easily. Especially if you also use a Nidus Spectre, this build gets up to almost 650% strength, and that is without strength shards. All of the shards that I'm using right now are for my Kuva Zar spam build, and right now it's just primary damage shards and casting speed, so none of this is even buffing this version of the build for the ammo pack. So if you wanted to, you could use Crimson Strength shards and make this even more absurdly strong than it already is. But let's be honest, the Ocucor is already going to shred everything. So the strategy is have somebody on your team play as a Cyte, as long as they're not the host. They cannot be the host because this strategy involves aborting. So if I'm going to go and do a 4-hour-long Steel Path Conjunction Survival Fisher, for example, and at least one person on the team is going to use an Ocucor, or if you want to really benefit, all 4 people use the Ocucor because of the infinite ammo keeping his second ability, you can have somebody, again, who's not the host, spawn into the mission playing as this max strength Cyte, boost up his strength as much as you can. You know, you can do whatever buffs you want to do. If you activate all the arcanes, activate the empower, and then they drop down a super buffed resupply. Make sure you cast it twice, though, so you can have 6 ammo packs, which we'll show in the mission. They can drop down that resupply, and then they can leave the mission and come back as the frame they actually want to play as. So I could spawn in a Cyte, for example, drop my ammo packs, leave, and come back as Mag, because Mag is the frame I actually wanted to play as on the mission, for example. Now, the really, really funny part of this is that not only would that buff the 3 other people in your party, or however many there is, but the person playing as Cyte who comes back as a new frame, for some reason, also sees the ammo packs. So even the person buffing the team themselves benefits from their own Cyte who was previously in the mission, which is, to me, hilarious. Now let's jump over into a mission and showcase this in action. Alright, so we are now back in a Conjunction Survival. I'm the host, and I'm playing as a different Warframe. I'm just playing as my Saren, and we have Azuli here playing as the Cyte. One correction, by the way, in that previous section of the video, I think I accidentally said that he drops 3 ammo packs at a time. It's actually only 2, so make sure that you cast the ability 3 times, because what I said about the cap of 6, that is correct. So if you put down 6 ammo packs, which again is 3 cast, you can give yourself as many opportunities for failure as possible, because if you are doing this Ocucor strat and you accidentally reload or accidentally don't kill enemies fast enough and you run out of ammo, you'll still have multiple extra ammo packs to go back and grab to regain that ammo buff. Now, with that in mind, Azuli, if you could go ahead and throw down all those ammo packs, preferably blast, because that element is fantastic. You can see here he's doing the rain dance of buffs that you can do to activate your Bolt Vigor and your power ramp. And you can use that Helmet and Power buff to really stack up that power strength. And he's now thrown out blast ammo, which I will pick up with my Ocucor. And now he can leave as the Cyte and rejoin the mission. In fact, I'll go ahead and even start the mission here because we haven't done that yet. You can see that even though he left, the ammo packs are still here. My Ocucor still has the blast ammo. And I'm now going to re-invite him. And he will rejoin as a different Warframe to play as whoever he actually wants to play as. And when he comes back, even he, on his new Warframe, will see the blast ammo, so he can bring an Ocucor and benefit from it as well. And once he gets in here, I'll have him verify that just to make sure that we're not all crazy. And here he is, loaded back into the mission. He's now playing as a beautiful Citrine. Wonderful fashion. And Azuli, do you see your ammo packs from your old Cyte on the ground still?
Oh yeah, they're all there.
Incredible. So even the person who leaves and comes back can benefit from this buff. So you can have a full squad of 4 people, all rocking ridiculously juiced up Ocucors. The Cyte build that he was just playing as, for example, was the one that I just showed on screen. So he was able to give up to a over 100%, so more than double damage ammo buff with forced status. So every single tick of the Ocucor is now applying blast along with the regular viral heat build that I'm doing, which especially on a frame like Saren is even more disgusting because I'm also using Venom Dose and Toxic Lash. So we have a whole host of extra damage buffs. Speaking of which, since you're probably using Galvanized Shot on the Ocucor, keep in mind that another one of the buffs that adding an extra status is giving you is an additional 120% base damage, since he introduced a new status type that I was not already modded for. So it is buff after buff after buff on this build. And as you can see, it completely eradicates these enemies. And it will continue to eradicate these enemies, because this weapon is incredible, well into multiple hours into a mission like this. So this basically never falls off. You'll keep this ammo indefinitely, and you'll basically shatter any semblance of game balance that DE wished Cyte had. Now, moving on to a final strat that you can use with Cyte involving Spectres, we have one more fun tip for you. So, one more super fun thing about the extreme power of Cyte's ammo packs is that even if you're a solo player who is both not wanting to play a Cyte, and since you're solo, you don't have a Cyte teammate to benefit from, you can still benefit from his ammo packs by making Cyte Spectres, because they very reliably throw out their ammo packs. So let me throw out a Cyte Spectre here. It doesn't matter what tier they are. And if I give him just a moment, he should eventually cast his ammo. There we go. He already threw out both an electric and a heat buff, which he seemed to do simultaneously, which is interesting because that's actually impossible for a player to do, because when you throw them out, it's two of the same one at a time. So now I can pick up this electric buff, for example, and I can start killing. Now, since he is a Spectre, you do have the quote-unquote downside of, obviously, he won't have as much strength as a player, because a player can put a bunch of strength mods on, as opposed to a Spectre will be unmodded, so just base strength. And since it's a Spectre, the elements that he throw out will be random, but since the ammo buff from Cyte is uncombined separate hits, it's never a downside, because it won't affect your elemental weighting on your weapon, because it's not combining at all with your mods. It functions like Toxic Lash or Zaw's Whisper, for example, where it's a completely separate hit. So it's guaranteed status, a bunch of damage, doesn't affect your modding setup, so no matter what element it is, it's always an upside. Now, if you want a particular element, and you want to avoid constantly changing elements, since the Spectre will keep throwing out random ones, what you could do is you could tell the Cyte to stay still, because since again it's a Spectre, you can go up to him, and you can click X to make him stand still, and then when he does throw out an element that you like, for example, Blast, you could just pick up that Blast, and then stay away from him for the rest of the mission, because as long as you don't walk over any of the other elements, you will stick with the last element that you picked up. That way you can benefit from the one of your choice, whether that be Blast, Magnetic, Viral, Corrosive, so on, depending on the mission. So we got 3 different ways to benefit here. You can actually be playing as Cyte, using the Ocucor himself, of course. You can have a teammate juice up your whole party by spawning in as Cyte, dropping the ammo packs and then leaving, or as a solo player, you can benefit from Cyte Spectres. So this is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful synergies that I've ever found in the game. It's actually hilarious what this does to the Ocucor. As you can see, the damage is just truly absurd. So if you guys try this out yourself, which I really hope you do, let me know down in the comments below. Is this insane? Do you like doing this? Are you going to use this in your team strats? For those of you that like doing missions that I do, for example, like really long endurance runs, let me know if you try this out. Let me know how it is when you're 4 hours deep into survival and you still have that ammo buff, because I think it's pretty sweet. So with that, I think we're going to call it here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.